Hi guys, for this video, I want to walk you through my infographic created for King County Metro. First, I want to talk about visual potential and encoding used in my infographic. Visual potential can be identified as a very important aspect in creating infographic. My understanding of the term is to present graphs, images, figures to convey information which can be better understood by readers viewing plain text. On my infographic, I have created 5 different forms of visual potential, including location, number, appearance, relationship, and time display. For appearance display, I considered it as the most important display in my infographic, and it was placed at the most important and obvious place in my final infographic. The visual potential focuses on the shape in order for understanding something based on visual details. I exploited the visual potential by allowing the reader to immediately understand the subject matter for topic, which in this case is King County Metro. Encodings used here were shape, color, and size. The encodings were chosen because the main purpose for appearance model is to clearly represent the topic to the reader. Shape and size were the key factors getting the reader to recognize the buses of King County Metro. And the color also chosen from the color model and fits perfectly of the real King County Metro buses. Next, we will talk about the visual potential of location. Visual potential of location focuses on using positions to display relations in different geographic areas. For my infographic, I exploited the location by using a color-coded map to display King County Metro coverage locations. The location display was really simple and easy to understand since I highlight the map with areas of service covered, and I put a short annotation on the side to help readers to make more sense out of the figure. The encoding that I exploited were color, position, text, and line endings. These encodings were chosen because color can visually highlight the quantitative data easily. Position was also great for making maps. Finally, text and line endings can help with identifying labels. Next, we will talk about the visual potential of numbers. The visual potential of numbers focuses on icons, graphs, and displays to represent nominal or quantitative data. For the first number display, I explored the visual potential of numbers by using numbers, annotations, and area charts to display various information about the annual revenue of King County Metro in the past 12 years. For the second number display, I explored the visual potential of numbers by using numbers in complete circles and text annotations to represent the average weekly boarding percentage of King County Metro compared to other agencies, as well as the Orca card use percentage in King County Metro. The main encodings used here were color and position. For both displays, color was used to represent different information, and position was used to represent how much the data has. I chose those encodings because area is good at representing quantitative data and colors are good at differentiating information. Next, we will talk about visual potential for relationship. The visual potential for relationship emphasizes the use of links and relationships to describe a phenomena, process, or hierarchy. In regards of my relationship display, I explored by visually representing the current 4 types of buses King County Metro are using and the corresponding bus models for different bus types. The main codings used here were color and position. One color was used to represent one bus type, and all the bus models with that type were used the same color. Also, the position of bus models was organized in time sequence. These encodings were chosen because position is good at explaining relational data. Also, colors are good at visually identify different genres of data. Last but not least, we will talk about visual potential of time. The visual potential of time emphasizes a change in a value over time. I explored the visual potential of time by creating a time series chart showing the change in fare of King County Metro. I used a bar graph in order to state that all the numbers are discrete rather than continuous measurements. The main codings I used here were shape, which in my case is the icons of coins, position, and text. These encodings were chosen because position and text are great for explaining the order of data. Also, the coin icons give readers a clear impression that the display is about finance. Next, I want to talk about my color model. I chose the Forgotten Victims of Drone infographic to be my color model because of this color model mainly used a teal and orange colors, as well as a combination of different shades of gray, which is actually similar to the real King County Metro buses. And those two colors, which is orange and teal, triggers the association as the bus in the real world. On the color model, orange was used to highlight the important information. For my infographic and the location display, I used orange to highlight the areas with the most metro coverage, which is the same as in my color model. In my number display, I also used orange to highlight the percentage of usage. In terms of encoding, in the relationship display, different colors were used to represent each bus types, such as orange for diesel and light teal for trolleys. This matches the two circles on my color model, which different circles represents different countries. Since my color model mainly uses a bright orange and teal color, it appeals to be enthusiastic and refreshing. Because the topic is about King County Metro and they are always on the schedule to get people to where they want to be, I find that those two colors are the good energetic fit. I did not find any monochromatic, analogous, complementary color harmony in my color model. Next, we will talk about typography model. The fonts I used in my infographic are Avenir Next for the headings and Saravec for body text. Compared to my typography model, the type style choose from Illustrator library is really similar to my model. As shown in the figure here, it matches with the typography model pretty well. When it comes to precision labels, which is referring to labels that tell you the precision numbers, a numerical value represented by a visual element, is used by having the numerical value on my number and location display. However, since my typographical model has many precision labels, while I don't have much numbers to show in my displays, I only used larger font size in order to have a better readability for readers. And for identify labels, it was only used by displaying different public transportation agencies compared to King County Metro on my number display. I used color primarily to associate the labels with what they label. For example, in my time display, different colors represent two zones King County Metro fare was used. I also used text to annotate. As shown on my number display for annual revenue, the text on the graph was used to annotate to help readers to better understand the changes in annual revenue of King County Metro. In terms of visual hierarchy, I think my infographic has three major sections, which emulate my layout model. Since the appearance of King County Metro is the centerpiece that I want to emphasize, I put it at the very center and made it large enough so that readers will notice it right away and understood what my topic is about. Then readers will see the left column section that is about service. First, they will see a title of King County Metro Transit at the very top, which has a teal background. And then readers can see the location display about the map of service coverage. Moving down is the number display about boarding percentage of King County Metro. Readers will then see the relationship display under the bus image, which is at the center bottom. The last thing reader will see on my infographic is the right comment section that is about finance of King County Metro. They will see a number display about annual revenue, then it followed by some additional statistics. Moving down, they will see the time display about fare history. Next, we will talk about visual language of my infographic. The visual language model I chose was honeybee extinction. It uses a lot of dashed lines and thin lines, and uses a lot of field shapes, which are a combination of circles and rectangles. In one of the display, it uses gradient colors to represent different percentages. Also, it has an abstract and simplified impression, such as the honeybee image. Therefore, in my infographic, I used a lot of field shapes, dashed thin lines in order to emulate my visual language model. In my location display, I used gradient color to show different percentage coverage. Next, we will talk about unity and variety. I identify unity on my infographic to be the constant use of color for all the major figures and texts. As stated previously, to better emulate my color model, I used orange and teal for all my major figures and dark gray for primary texts. Also, I used ribbons with subtitles for all displays, which is exactly the same in my visual language model. However, variety is also represented on my infographic, where I used quite different shapes for each section to make it more visually attractive to readers. I followed my visual language model when creating various shapes for different sections, which I think emulate my visual language model pretty well, except the map, which is not found in my visual language model. Finally, we will talk about layout and alignment for my infographic. Elements on my infographic is laid out in 3 columns with the center section the largest. The centerpiece in my infographic is the bus image. Therefore, it was sized as large as possible, which emulated from my layout model. Then, each 2 displays were grouped based on their subjects. For example, fare history and annual revenue were grouped together because they are all about finance. 3 big sections are separated by lines, and inside those sections, each display was separated by its ribbon-style title. Also, I emulate my layout model by making the left section a little bit larger than the right section. When it comes to alignment, in my layout model, every element including text were aligned to the left. However, I find it very hard to emulate since in my visual language model, everything was aligned onto the center. Therefore, I choose not to align everything to the left. Instead, every major element on my infographic is aligned at its center. This enables readers to understand the overall infographic easier without under any distraction. Text alignments followed my typography model where having a combination, a left alignment and a center alignment. Throughout the quarter, I think I learned a lot about visual design, and thanks for watching this video.